When Shanks appears frequently in the manga, you can assume that One Piece has entered its final stage. These were the words of Eiichiro Oda himself in 1998. We already knew that Shanks had some kind of connection to Elbaf, but according to this chapter, we can now say that Shanks will be one of the most important characters in this arc. Even if he doesn't appear, I'm sure we'll get important information about him and finally find out his true motives and goals. Of course, he seems kind for many reasons, but his past actions make us wonder if he might not be as kind as we initially thought. I have the same feeling about Loki, who has a history with Shanks. At first he seemed evil, but I wouldn't be so sure about that anymore. Have you ever seen Luffy act so comfortable with another character? At least not with a villain, I guess. He was just chilling and talking with Loki while sitting on his knee. Usually in serious moments, Luffy has very good intuition and knows who is good and who is bad. During the time skip when Luffy and Rayleigh were discussing hockey, Luffy mentioned that he relies a lot on his opponent's personality. Because of this, one of Luffy's greatest talents is being able to read people's personalities instinctively. If Loki were truly evil, Luffy wouldn't be vibing with him like this. When Kizaru arrived at Egghead, he sensed the aura of the person he was about to face, and based on his reaction, we knew it was a bad guy. In the previous chapter, Luffy felt Loki's aura and decided to approach him himself, and in this chapter, they seemed like good friends. This chapter gave us a lot of small but important details, so let's dive in. Loki's massive bounty is revealed. 2.6 billion berries. 2.6 billion is an impressive bounty for someone who doesn't bleed a crew. Don't let Law, Kid, and Buggy's 3 billion berry bounties fool you. Loki's bounty is between Blackbeard's 2.2 billion berry bounty, which he got after Marineford, having already invaded Impel Down, lied to the government, eaten 2 of the strongest devil fruits, among other things, and Luffy's 3 billion berry bounty, which he received after Wano, becoming an emperor, defeating Kaido, and awakening his sun god devil fruit. Loki was tied to a tree with chains 6 years ago, most likely in the period shortly after he killed his father and stole the legendary devil fruit. We don't know exactly when Loki received his bounty, but if he already had the 2.6 billion before eating his legendary devil fruit, which seems most likely, then that would be a strong statement. If we add the killing of his father and the consumption of a legendary devil fruit to his bounty, I believe he deserves a bounty of at least 3.5 billion berries, but Oda chose this number for a reason. 2 and 6 together form Jiro in Goro Awaze, which Oda loves to use. Jiro is a Japanese given name meaning second son. Loki is the second son of King Harold after Hyruden. Another epic moment was when Loki offered to help Luffy defeat any pirate crew in exchange for his freedom. Yes, he's confident, but the vibes Loki give off make me think he could actually do it. There's a nice parallel between Loki and Zoro. Luffy met Loki chained up, and Loki told him that if he freed him, he'd repay Luffy by defeating a pirate crew. When Luffy met Zoro tied up, Zoro told him that if he freed him, he would repay Luffy by hunting a pirate. It's also insane how Loki dodged a Gear 4 punch while totally blindfolded and heavily nerfed by being surrounded by large amounts of sea stone. He hasn't moved in years, and it seems Loki has Mjolnir, which is now permanently back. This would make it the first black blade that's not a sword. For now, the hype for Loki is huge, and it can't be any other way. Oda went all out for this character. The strongest giant saying that if Loki is ever freed, it will be the end of the world already gives us a reason to count him as one of the strongest characters in the whole story. We still need to see his abilities, but I'm sure that'll happen soon. Luffy will be the one to free Loki, and that's clear, especially after this chapter when Loki offered Luffy information about Shanks. I don't know if you've noticed, but Loki mirrors Luffy completely. He calls himself the Sun God, seems to have a goofy personality, rules over the beasts just like Luffy, and in this chapter, Loki even got Luffy's name wrong just like Luffy often gets others' names wrong. So we're basically getting an anti-Luffy as the antagonist of this arc. As chapter 478 suggested, we'll get Luffy versus Luffy. Speaking of the beasts, Loki says that no one dares to enter the underworld because of the beast in the forest. During the Egghead arc, Dory and Broggy compared the transformed elders to the beasts of Elbaf's forests. I wonder if this has some deeper meaning. Back to Loki. Loki was tied to a tree 6 years ago, and Shanks became an emperor 6 years ago as well. Could these two events be connected? During the Egghead arc, we saw that Shanks didn't want Elbaf to become a war zone. Later, he one-shotted Eustace Kid in the sea. Maybe Shanks also helped the giants chain Loki to prevent a battle on Elbaf? But is defeating a dangerous giant from Elbaf really enough to level up to a Yonko? It seems that Shanks as a Yonko has more privileges than others, as he was able to speak freely with the Gorosei. Does Loki pose such a big threat to the world government and the celestial dragons? A bounty of 2.6 billion berries for a character from Elbaf is no joke. I believe something happened between Loki and the Celestial Dragons, a past event that made Loki resent them, and that's why he wants to destroy the world, i.e. the world ruled by the Celestial Dragons. I also believe he even killed his own father for this reason. The Royal Giants' propaganda claims that he killed his father to obtain a legendary devil fruit, but I think that's fictional. Loki is being framed for false accusations. He did kill his father, but for good reason. Elbaf may have been one of the countries that opposed the world government during the Void Century. I think King Harold was the first corrupt king of Elbaf who ruled under the influence of the Celestial Dragons. This influence could have started with government agents like Mother Carmel. After the Straw Hats escaped from Egghead, the Vice Admirals apologized for their failure to stop them and requested permission to pursue the pirates to Elbaf. Surprisingly, Saturn told them to forget about Elbaf, even though the Straw Hats, Bonnie, and Kuma are enormous threats to the world government. There must be a reason for this. Even though the government isn't officially affiliated with Elbaf, the Gorosei still have agents there, like Mother Carmel. My bet is on CP9 or CP0 agents, and it wouldn't be surprising since we've already seen CP0 working in Elbaf. They were able to warp King Harold's faith. Loki was sentenced to crucifixion. Where have we seen this before? When Figurlin Garling sentenced Saint Mjosgar to execution, or when Mother Carmel saved the giant warrior pirates from execution by the world government. Every time someone is sentenced to death, it's always by the world government. The common people knew nothing about this, and the royal giants had no influence or were corrupted by it. Loki realized this, acted quickly, and killed King Harold, causing all the royal giants to blame Loki for the act. I know this is an unpopular opinion, and it might sound strange after seeing Loki's design and hearing all the rumors about him, but at least for now, Luffy seems far too comfortable with him for me to believe that Loki is a bad guy. Also, Loki has a hat that resembles a beetle, and we know how much Luffy loves beetles. In Egyptian mythology, the beetle-headed Khepri is the god of the morning sun. I don't think that's just a coincidence. Anyway, Shanks then came to Elbaf, defeated Loki with the help of the giants, and was subsequently promoted to Yonko. I believe Shanks is neither good nor bad. He just tried to maintain peace in the world while wanting for Luffy to awaken his devil fruit. He stopped the Marineford War, possibly prevented Loki from destroying the world or the Celestial Dragons, and for years he's been trying to catch Blackbeard, another dangerous villain for everyone, including his plans. This is why Shanks is respected by everyone and was able to arrange a meeting with the Gorosei. In conclusion, I believe Loki is not as evil as he's portrayed, and he's likely stronger than we think. He killed his father due to the connection to the world nobles, and later, he was defeated by Shanks, which also speaks volumes about Shanks' strength. That's how Shanks became one of the Yonko. I think there are still some CP0 agents or Holy Knights in Elbaf, because what happened to Saul? Why is he becoming so ill when Robin is so close? I believe someone has poisoned him, and that someone is a member of the world government. That's why Saturn was so nonchalant about Elbaf. He trusts his agents. Either way, we haven't had a major arc without Marines or world government members yet, not even in Wano. Especially now with the final saga underway, I expect strong Marine members to be involved in Elbaf, maybe even a Kainu or Figurlin Garling. In this chapter, we also got Robin's new old hairstyle, which suits her perfectly. I also want to mention that one of the oldest One Piece theories came true in this chapter. Elbaf's tree is indeed Treasure Tree Adam. Treasure Tree Adam is a type of tree whose wood is considered the strongest, high-quality wood in the world. Occasionally, it's sold on the black market at a very high price due to its value. Frankie managed to purchase some for 200 million berries. The only known ships that use this type of wood are the Oro Jackson, which carry the legendary Roger pirates, and the Thousand Sunny, which currently carries the Straw Hat pirates. I wonder if something will happen to this tree at the end of this arc, or maybe at the start, which could trigger Ragnarok. That's it for today. Don't forget to like this video, and if you want to know more about Loki's Devil Fruit, you can watch this video right here. Thanks for watching.